Good afternoon, friends, followers, channel members. Happy Friday. The end of the week is here. Our Friday afternoon stream. I always love this one. This is just where we can say goodbye to the week, welcome in the weekend, and sit and chill. Although tonight's flight might be a little less relaxing than we're used to. Obviously, Storm Darragh is sweeping across the UK, really hitting Ireland at the moment, which is basically where we're headed to. Aircraft are getting in though. Belfast has the use of runway 17 tonight. That's where we're going to be coming in on. I have never landed on 17, so something new for the stream. We're in Southampton, which I don't think the wind here is actually too bad. Sort of at the moment, Southampton, Bristol, Bournemouth, all of those airports, they're fine. But the storm is going to be sort of moving and sweeping across the UK overnight, right into sort of Saturday evenings. Lots of things in the UK getting cancelled tomorrow. So it'll be fun. Sadly, I'm not around to fly through it tomorrow, so we will have to make do with tonight. But it is interesting at the moment. The winds are really gusting up in Belfast, so should be interesting to see how we do when we get there. Obviously, Microsoft Flight Sim 24, will that crash? More chance of that crashing than me, I hasten to add. But anyway, hope you've all had a great week. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, looking forward to this. So who have we got coming in on board? Hey Terry, Dark Fury's in, Oculus Flight Hungry. Good afternoon to you guys. Everyone else as well watching on YouTube, thanks for joining us, and over on Twitch as well. Andre asks, do I think Flight Sim 24 can reach the same level as 2020? How long will that take? Yes is the answer to the first part of your question, and I can't possibly answer the second part of your question because who knows? It took 4 years, didn't it, to get Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 to the place where it currently is. I am hopeful it won't take that long for 2024, but there you go. Right, so we're as I said, we're in Southampton today. We've got our operational flight plan just here. Orbex, no it isn't. It's Inibuild scenery that we've got for Southampton, our channel partner Inibuild, and we're flying to the wonderful Purgy airport that Belfast scenery has. Okay, back in our little dinky A319 as well. They do use the A319 for this flight. Not a massive runway at Southampton, so that's usually why. Clever says just prepping a flight from Windhoek to Joburg. My God, how long does that take, Clever? That sounds like a decent flight. What I used to do, sort of after tea on a Friday, back when I was much younger, in the early days of Flight Sim 2000, after tea I'd head up to my bedroom, start setting up a flight for an overnight transatlantic or something like that. You know, a really long American to Europe flight. Leave it overnight, wake up sort of 6-7 a.m. in the morning, land it. So satisfying. Right, so yeah, let's go through the flight plan then together. We're not heavy today. We're 13.5 ton. In fact, we're nearly full, not quite in terms of payload. Actually, we're under load by 3 tons. We're actually not that full. Alternate is Manchester. We've got, what's that call sign? 121 Whiskey. That's all right. Normal cost index of 4, up to 32,000 feet. We've got a headwind as well. Not as bad as our flight yesterday though. Look at the shear rate as well. 7.6 at Tenso. So that's just approaching the sort of levels where it starts to become, starts to sort of make you want to take notice. Maybe let the cabin crew know it might get a bit bumpy around the particular waypoint Tenso, so quickly go through the flight log, find out where is Tenso. So about half an hour into the flight, yeah, literally midway through the flight, it could be a little bit bumpy. It'd be interesting to see how flights in real turbulence affects that. So then we've got our departure off runway 20, direct Norrie. No standard instrument departures here in Southampton, and also no standard arrival routes in Belfast either. So a lot of sort of vectoring and things. We've got CNR for Manchester is 2.5 tons, and we've got a total fuel of about just over 5.5 tons. Well, we can take more fuel. Runway 17 in Belfast though isn't the longest, so we will do a dispatch landing calculation. Make sure we actually can land. Hey Vince, good evening to you. Grey Wildcat says fingers crossed, no CTDs. Oh, I've got everything crossed. It's so frustrating when it happens, isn't it? Right, what I've remembered to do though, I've disabled Wing Bridge, which is the, or Sim Bridge, isn't it, that fly-by-wire starts automatically. I've disabled that, so hopefully, I know there was a memory leak there, so trying to give herself the best possible chance. Right, the flight log is fine, no terrain around that. So here's the current weather then at Belfast. It's 15022, gusting 33, visibility 8 kilometers, light rain, few clouds, 1700 feet, few CBs about, we've got recent rain, and then we've got the Prob 40, which is falling into basically the period that we are in now. So that's just down here. So yeah, Prob 40 means it's probably going to happen. So heavy rain, and then between 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock tonight, 15 gusting to 5, and then there's a probability, again probably going to happen between 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. We're coming right into the middle of that now, gusting 40 knots, and then overnight getting even stronger. Oh wow, look at that. Tomorrow morning, there's a small chance of those gusts increasing up to 60 knots. Ouch. So that's the point where you don't, depending on what's actually happening, that's the point where you don't even send the aircraft, because there's a limitation on the doors as well. No point landing but not being able to actually open the doors and the hold doors. So yeah, all good fun. Let's just have a look at some of the alternates then. So at the moment, Manchester is looking absolutely fine today. So yeah, no issues getting into Manchester. That's looking good. Glasgow at the moment is also fine. Belfast City is one of the alternates, but let's be honest, if I can't get into Aldergrove, I probably won't be able to get into Belfast City. And then we've got Birmingham as well, which at the moment is also absolutely fine. And at the moment down here in Southampton, yeah, wind's line variable, so it's beautiful here. So that's okay. Looking like a 7.5 knot crosswind and 20 knot headwind for the landing. Let's check out the no time. Southampton stand 11 is closed. We're on stand 4, so that's no problem for us. And then Aldergrove stand 15 is closed. Got some lights unserviceable, and the VOR DME Belfast VOR part, maybe some fluctuations. We're not using that. We obviously use GPS, so it's fine. And then I'm not too worried about the Manchester operations at the moment. Wind information, company no times, ATC flight plan, and then our weather chart. So that is our route. So what have we got here? It's just covering the UK. Looking at that, we've basically got occasional turbulence and icing, typical for this time of year. So yeah, it's very British and wintry. So what fuel are we going to take? Well, let's have a look. What's our landing weight? Our landing weight is planned to be 58. Let's call it 58.2. All right. So if it's 58.2, which you can see there, 58. I've just rounded that up. 58.2. Let's see how we're going to affect this. We'll do our dispatch landing calculation. So I would like to take extra fuel in case we need to disappear somewhere else and can't get in at Belfast. Obviously, we can have one go. If it doesn't work, we can have another go. If it doesn't work, and if you've had 2 goes, then that's it. You can have a 3rd go, but if the weather isn't changing, what is the point staying there and burning extra fuel and potentially causing a bigger problem for yourself down the line? So if I can take 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, yeah, if I can take 7.5 tons, we'll try that. So we take 7.5 tons. Our planned fuel was 5.6 tons. So basically, we're going to take an extra 1.9 tons. If we add that to our landing weight, 1.9 plus 58.2 gives us a landing weight of 60.1. Right, let's go to our landing calculation. Runway 17. It is absolutely not dry. It's we'll put it as good. Apply the METAR. That landing weight of 60.1. And see if we can actually get in at all then. So 60.1, auto brake medium, flaps full. So with that, we would be able to get in. That headwind is helping us there. So my only concern is if we get some shortcuts and things like that, will it be a little bit heavier than that, which means that realistically, and also of course, if the weather gets worse as well, you know, we saw in the METAR there was a chance of heavy rain. So if that suddenly degrades down to runway condition code 4, well then I'm not getting in. So let's just take half a ton off that and work on 59.6. Let's try that. 59.6. How's that going to do for us? And max reverse. Right, that will work then. So we are going to take, we can't take a full 1.9 ton extra. We're going to take a 1.4 ton extra. That way we know we're safe. We're going to get in. So total fuel required for today's trip, the captain's decided to go with, is 7 tons. So 7 tons of fuel, and we'll start to get that loaded. Should we get inside then as well? Darragh says you could always sit in the hold for an hour or two, see if the weather changes. Yeah, but if it does dark, the weather's only going to get worse, isn't it? So no point in doing that. Flipping heck, it's dark in here. Let's just turn these up. For now. Turn those down a little bit. Okay, so our aircraft is in the turnaround state. I'm just going to tell the ground crew to start getting boarded and let the cabin crew know as well. Hey Caroline, welcome on board. Hope all you guys are well. Right, if you want to start the boarding process, and we'll see if we can get to Belfast. Right. I think she's on board. I don't know. Might be.
Okay, Captain.
Oh, yeah.
Starting the boarding process now. I'll keep you updated.
Didn't know if she was on board. I might have just been talking to myself. Right, so 7 tons of fuel, and GSX is going to take care of that for us. Disco, is it possible to change the normal baggage belt in GSX right now? It's using the big containers, which is not obviously realistic, is it? Disco, yes, you can do that. I can't show you how to do that right now, but yes, there is an option in the settings as well. German Sim Aviation, yeah, I have heard I need to reinstall the sim. Which, to be fair, it might also be worth reinstalling the sim again after the big update next week. So we'll see. We'll see. Definitely need to redo it. Okay, so just check how everything's doing up here. We've got we're on external power. Pumps are off. We've got the packs off. Seatbelt signs are off. APU obviously not running, so that's fine. Spoilers, flaps, parking brake, they're all good. Acupressure's now up in the green. And let me see, have we got any ATIS information? No, we don't. So we'll get the information off our tablet. So current information: QNH is 1015. Winds are 150 at 2024. Bearing 12018. Visibility is fine. Few clouds 2,000 feet. Broken 49, 10 degrees, and we've got that QNH 1015. Okay. We'll go through the setup then. So 1015. We've got to Unicom a little bit. Master, make sure we're monitoring the guard. Switching panel, thrust levers, engine mode, master selection, all that stuff. Squadron 2000, that's okay. Up here 1015, get constraints on. We'll have a look at the chart for the initial climb altitude in a moment. Just clear the ECAM, and we've also got our preliminary loading sheet as well, I believe. Somewhere. Oh, hang on. Just sign out of the captain's side, then I can get that in over here. There we go. Not quite sure why it sends it twice, but right, we'll use that in a moment. Alright, let's go through the box. I forgot to update my air cycle again, so apologies for that. We've got 3 nav greens. Aircraft status is right engines, wrong cycle, it shall do. And we have the init page. Let's do our init request. Wait for that to come up. Okay, I'll start filling in the box. So our call sign today is Easy 121 Whiskey. Cost index of 4 as per usual. Invector, why do you need to install 2024? Well, I've heard a lot of people saying they're getting much better performance now if they reinstall it, and to be fair, I installed it the very first day it released, and do you remember how the release went? It was an absolute beep show. So I wouldn't be surprised if things were not as efficient as they perhaps are now. So yeah, an uninstallation and reinstallation I actually think sounds like a pretty good idea. And the same as always, even FlightSim 2020 always works better if you did a fresh installation. The problem with that is it took hours, but to be fair, FlightSim 2024 didn't take that long. Logging in to the sim took longer than actually downloading and installing it. So IRS is 5057 and Northern 121 WestJet, they're all fine. Okay, cruising today 32 and temperature is 47. Right, Nori is our first waypoint after departure. Remember, so there's no standard instrument departures here, so we're off runway 20, no SIDS. So insert. And similar for the arrival into Belfast, ILS 17, no start. And we can leave the Belfast one arrival in there for now. So that is 354, 366. Yeah, they're close enough. So we've got the SAM VOR.
Hello.
And onto our init B. Dark Fury has just confirmed actually what we've just been saying. Azobo have stated reinstall the FlightSim as in the dev stream. They actually said you could have some corrupt files due to the issues at launch. Hardly surprised it's been there. Might be why I'm getting loads of crash to desktops. The sim might be perfect. We'll definitely reinstall before we do our Lapland flight on the 18th of December. Don't want a crash to desktop in that. I think we have had one once doing our special Christmas flight. Right, so it's 55.5. 048G 34. Alternate is 1.5.
Hello.
Let's see what this says. So remember, we're taking 7 tons of fuel. In fact, it was pants. Yeah, it was. The launch day was absolutely pants. So a reinstall might fix a lot of issues for quite a few of us. Right, so 7 tons of fuel, and takeoff weight is going to be 62.3. That gives us an extra 2.1 tons of fuel, an extra hour 3 minutes of holding time, which is perfect for a day like today. So our zero fuel rate CFG is 30.4. Our takeoff CFG is 28.7. Except all that, let's do our performance calculations then. So takeoff weight is 62.3, and just to bring this into our brief, our max landing weight is 62.5, so we're below max landing weight already for departure. So if something goes wrong after departure, we can get ourselves slammed back into Southampton safely. So onto our performance page then, let's have a look.
Welcome on board.
So it is dry here, it's not
Hello.
raining.
Can I see your boarding pass?
And flaps 1, no need to force toga, anti-ices off, packs off, takeoff weight 623, CFG is 28.7,
Welcome on board.
and it's full length departure.
Hello.
Okay, and flex of 54.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Alright, V-speed is 1, 2, 4.
Hello.
Steve, how long is the bad weather supposed to last for? The next 24 hours, Steve, so right through until tomorrow evening.
This way, please. Hello.
Flex 5-4. And thrust reduction, acceleration values for runway 20, 1044, or now obviously with Easyjet ops,
Hello.
we're on 844.
Welcome on board.
844. Engine out is also 844. On to secondary flight plans. So, copy the active. Our engine out procedure here is standard. We've got no terrain ahead of us. So basically, we are straight out, and then it's 1,600 feet. It's a right turn to the SAM VOR, which is the Southampton VOR.
Good afternoon.
So what I'm going to do is pop in SAM VOR, take up the hold, and the inbound course is 020 right turns. And then Echo Golf
Good
Hotel
afternoon.
Hotel.
Good afternoon.
Nope, sorry, that's Bournemouth. Hotel India.
Good afternoon.
And back in on 20.
May I
No
see your
start,
boarding pass?
and we can use the SAM 1 arrival or procedure. Double check.
May I see your boarding pass? This way, please.
There we are. So straight out
Welcome on board.
in the hold, and there's the teardrop shape arrival in case we need it.
May I see your boarding pass?
Okay, so there's no air traffic control online today, so we'll say that everything that we've got in is given to us as well. So let's go through today's flight and briefing if
Good
we're all
afternoon.
ready. All right, so we're at 319 today. Obviously going Southampton up to Belfast. Weather here in Southampton is fine. We've not got any problems. It's not raining. The winds are nice and light. Weather en route. We've got the potential for icing. A little bit of turbulence about halfway through the flight potentially. And then obviously we need to keep an eye on the weather as we're getting into Belfast. We'll see what the aircraft are doing as well. If we sort of get to Manchester, Liverpool area and we hear from ops that flights are just not getting in and it's become
This way, please.
a bit of a non-starter, at that point we'd need to probably consider, we're still over at mainland England, is it even worth it, or should we just return? We'd have enough fuel at that point to return back to Southampton. At least the passengers will be no worse off and not left stranded in a different city. So that is a potential for today's flight. The aircraft that we're flying today is A319, no defects. Weather radar doesn't work, it's part of the sim, sadly can't do a thing about that. Got no towns either here in Southampton. There's runway lights, there's a taxiway light out at Belfast, but nothing's going to affect us with regards to the approach or anything like that. And let's talk through the flight, have a look at the departure charts, all that sort of stuff as well. So we are on stand 4 then. Stand 4, so that's here at this terminal in the cul-de-sac. Just confirm, yeah, that's just there. So we'll get pushed back, we'll be facing east, and then we'll taxi, it'll be taxi on Alpha, and then it's Bravo, and obviously we've then got a backtrack, so we'll be backtracking runway 02, and use the turning circle at the end because we've got full length departure, so nice and steady, take that. Let's have a look at the actual departure itself then. So I'll bring these departure charts up. So this is our departure. Our first waypoint today is I think it's Pepys. I'm going to have to double check that now. Bear with me. Might not be Pepys. That doesn't ring a bell. It's Norrie. So let me just have a quick look. Oh, it's overhead. Yeah, it's the first waypoint we've got today is Norrie. But there's no standard instrument departures, so our plan is a takeoff, and then 500 feet. It's a right turn, and then once we are above 2,000 feet, we'll continue that right hand turn, and we can just go straight up north and just do a direct to Norrie. As we are in that, then there's no speed constraints or anything like that. MSA as we're departing is 2,300 feet. So yeah, that's all pretty straightforward. Nothing really too complicated about that. So now we know what we're doing and how we're going to fly. Well, obviously that'll all be flown with autopilot. What I will do as well, just because this isn't a standard instrument departure, we're just going to plan page and check what that departure actually looks like. To be fair, it's a discontinuity in there, because when we're happy, what I'll do is we'll select direct Norrie, and that's then all there fine, and you should be able to see that. There it is. Look, we'll just connect that up as we go. So let's talk about threats then. So it's a very short runway. It's one about 1,800 meters, this runway, 37 meters wide. So that's our biggest threat. It's the runway. There's trees at the end of the runway as well. So just be mindful of that. If we need to do things like a high-speed takeoff projection, then we don't have a lot of room to play with, so it needs to be something serious before we really do have to consider that. Other than that, I think we're pretty good. So yeah, all is well, and we will see if we can get up to Belfast without any issues. Chris Hogg, sir, thank you so much, not obviously for just joining us, but as amazing donation. Thank you for your £10 super chat. Chris says, quick question, how do you turn off air traffic control and the text is driving me crazy? Chris, I've managed to turn the voices off. That is in the sound settings, character voices in Flight Sim 2024. I've not managed to turn the text off though. I thought I had, but I haven't. So I'm with you at the moment, Chris. I don't know how to turn that off. J-Hog also celebrating 30 months of channel membership. Thank you so much, J-Hog, for your support during that time. Pilot Kid, when you download announcements for the Phoenix, do you remove the default ones? Yeah, if you're using a third party, then yeah, absolutely. Right, so I'm also just going to set our initial climb. We actually have an initial climb, as I recall, on these charts. So climb will be given by ATC. They're not actually here. So we will we'll set our initial climb to transition altitude, which is 6,000 feet. Awesome. A couple of messages come through, so let's start getting ready to go. Get the APU turned on. That's it. So give that a second to go, and we'll get on to the camera crew and let them know. Hey guys, we're all finished up here, so we're looking to push back in the next 5 minutes, so if you can make sure the cabin's all ready, please. Okay, let's check our final load sheet.
Okay, Captain. We'll ensure the cabin is ready for pushback in the next few minutes.
Okay, 62.3, that's
Ladies and
fine.
gentlemen, we are preparing for pushback shortly.
28.7
Please ensure your seatbelts
CG,
are fastened
excellent.
and your seats are in the upright position.
No LMCs.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to wait for APU to start. Fuel, 7 tons. That's finished and it's all balanced. Great stuff. Right. Fuel pumps on. APU's not quite running yet. Seatbelt signs on. Frap 99, I do have a graphic settings video on my channel if you want to check that out. Then you'll be able to see that for yourself. Give it a minute, we'll get the APU bleed on, another minute we'll get the packs on. Just turn that down a little bit. APU's up and running, so external power. So ground, that can be disconnected. David Mooney, this is the Fenix A319. Commodore, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good weekend as well. Alright, get onto Unicoms. The other couple of aircraft are around us. Doesn't look like there's anything behind, so that's fine. Okay, so cockpit prep checklist, aircraft acceptance, that's all been completed. Fuel quantity is 7 tons and balance. Seatbelt signs are on. It is, we've got 3 nav greens, and the barrel ref is 1015 on the QNH and 60.
Southampton traffic, shuttle 195, taxiing Alpha, holding Bravo 1 for 20 backtrack. Southampton traffic.
Southampton traffic easy, 121 whiskey, taxi, correction, pushing back from stand 4, facing east. Okay, before start checklist, so parking brake is on, takeoff data confirm with the FO. So 124.130.
We are ready for pushback.
Clean 210, flaps 1, flex 54, and windows are closed. Heads are on flight mode. Doors are closed and armed, and our beacon light is on.
Departure checks completed.
Descent, air traffic that you can see here is all from all being injected by V-Pilot.
Southampton traffic, shuttle 195, backtracking, runway 20, Southampton traffic.
Chris says he loves the AFB. I really like this. I really like the AFB. I don't use all the features of it, but I certainly use it for the charts. Definitely. So that's the nose wheel being lifted. Jason, I've not used Beyond ATC in the new sim. Legend Killer is 24 doing better now. It's doing better, but as we heard in the dev stream last night, we are being encouraged to uninstall it and reinstall it, particularly if you installed it at the time of release, like I did. I'm just waiting for GSX. See if we can give it a bit of a kick. Or not.
Easy 121 whiskey, Easy 598.
That's frustrating. Easy 121 Whiskey, pass your message.
Are you able for short push to allow us to get out of the stun just behind you, or is that unavailable?
I can certainly try, but the tug drivers are rather temperamental down here in Southampton.
Hey, sir.
Release parking brakes, please.
And parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, confirm nose wheel steering is disconnected. Engine mode selected to ignition and starting engine 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Easyjet UK Flight 14, departing from Southampton to Belfast. My name is Caroline, and I'm your lead flight attendant today. Joining me in the cabin are my wonderful colleagues, James, Sarah, Tom, and Emily. We are thrilled to have you with us. As we prepare for departure, I'd like to take a moment to go over some important
Stayed in that
safety
hotel
information.
earlier this year.
First, please ensure your seatbelt is fastened. To fasten, insert the metal tip into the buckle until you hear a click. To release, simply lift the buckle. In the unlikely event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the panel above you. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth, and secure it with the elastic band. Remember to put your own mask on before assisting others. We also have life vests located under your seats. To use them, pull the vest out, slip it over your head,
Please
and
set
pull the
parking
straps
brakes.
to tighten.
Parking brakes set.
Inflate the vest by pulling the red
Unlocking
tab
gear.
or by blowing into
Okay, so engine 1 is
For your
availed, starting
safety,
engine 2.
There are 2 emergency exits located at the front and 2 at the rear of the aircraft. Please take a moment to locate your nearest exit, which may be behind you. Our estimated flight time to Belfast is approximately 1 hour and 6 minutes. Thank you for your
Southampton
attention.
traffic,
and we hope
yeah,
you
shuttle
will
195, taking off
Captain,
runway
cabin is
20,
ready.
Southampton traffic.
Hopefully that's short enough for the company traffic behind us. Been blinded by those taxi lights.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Santa King says this time of year the truck driver
Left is
refuses
clear. Right is clear.
to allow him to start his engines because it's too cold. Engine number 2 is available. There goes the Speedbird. Right, okay, so just a little bit of lighting up up there. So engine mode selector is back to normal. APU bleed can come off. Anti-ice not required. APU master is off, and on the spoilers 0 the rudder. Flaps 1, and set our trim. Perfect. Major Big Bear, mate, thanks so much for the Prime sub over on Twitch. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Alright, so the after start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trim's 28.7 and our rudder is neutral. It's not a long taxi, so we'll do the flight control checks here. So we've got full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, and neutral. Rudder, full right, full left, and neutral. Okay, so quick look at the taxi chart, just confirm we're at what we're doing, where we're going. We'll make the call on comms. Ah, where's my chart gone? There you are. Southampton traffic easy, 121 Whiskey, taxiing out via the South Terminal. 12 Alpha, holding point Bravo 1. Cancel master caution for the null zone issue. Alrighty, let's go. brake check, they're fine. Right, so we've got no LMCs today. Engine out procedure is standard.
Southampton traffic E598 will follow the company A319 on Alpha or Short Bravo 1.
Just listening to it, other aircraft. Yeah, engine out procedure is standard. If we lose that engine, we'll pull heading bug, and 1600 feet, then it is a right turn Southampton VOR. We'll take up the whole 3,000 feet above the airfield and then decide what we're doing. And the departure is straight out right turn at 500 feet, and then once 2,000 feet we can go direct to our first waypoint. That is Norrie. Noise abatement 2 for the departure, and our initial climb 6,000. Quick review of the threats, and that is the very short runway. God, these are blinding. This is something that the update is most certainly going to fix, isn't it? Because it's not the scenery that does this. So Max, yes, I think they are very, very bright. Brian says you've just done your first Airbus flight with a side stick. Oh, how did you find it? 6581, yeah, they're definitely going to sort these out, because that's one of the biggest issues with the sim at the moment, isn't it? They're just far too bright.
Traffic, Jersey 1857 will be pushed back 1 speed to Easyjet for cleared.
Okay, not heard anyone else on the comms. We've got no visual aircraft coming in, so Southampton traffic easy 121 whiskey entering the active via taxiway Bravo, backtracking runway 20 for full length departure. So do our taxi checklist as well. So flight controls have been checked. Flap settings, config 1 FMAs. 124 blue, 130 magenta, climbing up blue, 1 FD2, 6,000 blue. Radar predictive wind shear, both on. Engine mode selector is normal. ECAM we've got takeoff no blue, and our EFB is stowed. Jeffrey, good evening to you. Again, though, this is why I don't mind doing flights at night time in Flight Sim 2024, because I do think the night lighting is stunning. Not the airport lighting. The airport lighting is shocking, but the night lighting is wonderful. Oh, Brian, that's great to hear. So, have we convinced you now that side sticks and a tray table are the way forward? Yeah. Hope so. Connor, does the Phoenix work well in 2024? Yeah, it appears to be. Just be careful, some liveries can cause crash to desktops, not official ones. So I know my A319 livery, dark, doesn't work. It causes CTDs. There's definitely one there. Dark, yeah, the 319 liveries cause issues, apparently. Get ourselves lined up. Okay, so line-up checklist. Cabin is secure. Takeoff runway full length. Runway 20 is confirmed. TKCR Apex 12 are off. Southampton traffic easy. 121 whiskey. Departing runway 20. Takeoff to the north. All right then. So take off. Start the chrono. Let's see how far into this flight we can get. Stable. Flex. SRS runway. Auto thrust blue. And take off thrust set. Rotate.
Southampton traffic Easy598.
Positive climb, gear up.
For runway 20.
Nav. First line climb. Flap 0, spoilers disarmed.
Southampton traffic, Jersey 1857, will be holding power 1, departing traffic.
2,000 feet. Direct Nori. Autopilot 1 engaged. Southampton docks down there. Coming up into a little bit of moisture now, so probably need to start thinking about that anti-ice. It's definitely within, going to start to be within the temperature range as well within a couple of minutes. No air traffic control, so we'll set our own sort of climb.
Easy 121 Whiskey, London Control, clear to Aldergrove, direct Daventry, then as filed, squawk 1715 and ident.
We'll get rid of that. Okay, so standard pressure 180 blue. Just keep an eye on the temperature. So we've got spoilers, flaps, gear. Get our lights off. Cancel the last caution light. See how long it is before we break through those clouds.
Southampton traffic Easy598. Departing 20 to the north.
I've still got a landing light showing. Oh, they weren't retracted, that's why. Thought I'd turn them off with my overhead, for some reason it didn't read the retract. Right, this is 10,000 feet coming up, so we'll get airports up on our EFIS, come down to the box. Radnav page, we can clear this out. 320 is planned, Optimus 36, Max 39, so yeah, 32 is fine.
Traffic, Jersey 1857, correction, 90 contact back traffic runway
320 blue.
Also, our onboard Wi-Fi service is now available for you to enjoy. Thank you.
Cost index reduced to 0. Secondary flight plan, copy active. That's it. The anti-ice on just as we're sort of approaching a layer of cloud and we'll see ahead of us. This is where a proper working weather radar would be grand, but sadly don't have those. Brian says, great to see the first plane landing at Doncaster today. Yeah, wasn't it the old oil spillage 727 thingy? At least that's yeah, that's what I read. Critic, Airbus pilot said that in heavy moisture conditions like rain, the temperature does not require anti-ice to be on during takeoff. Keep the engine mode selected to ignition. What's being? Yeah, so if you are taking off in heavy rain, regardless of the temperature, engine ignition should be left on. Now, interestingly enough, with the IAE engines, you will have noticed if you fly in the sim, or you've seen my stream before, if we're flying the IAE engines, you'll see down here that the ignition is on automatically, even if the selector is normal. CFM engines it doesn't, but the IAE it does. So yeah, in heavy rain conditions, that's right. Looks like a decent rain cloud down there that we just see. Charles says it's just looked and they're using runway 17 for landing at Belfast. Yeah, that's our plan as well. It's in our operational flight plan. Belfast 17. Jeff, do I know what toga lock is? Yes, Jeffrey. It's something I never want to see. So toga lock will be flashing up here. You get toga lock when the aircraft's attitude is getting you to a point where your airspeed is dropping and basically you're getting close to stalling. So the aircraft will engage toga, maximum thrust, automatically, and that will be locked in, and it will knock off your autopilot. You won't be able to re-engage it or anything until you've got that out. Basically, in short, your speed's dropping. Your speed's dropping too much, so the aircraft says, we don't want this. So gives you full power. To get out of those conditions, push the side stick forward. Yeah, get your airspeed back up. Bring the attitude of the aircraft down. You need to see a positive speed trend. Knock off the autopilot, move your thrust levers to toga, and then once you've got that positive speed trend back and you're out of the barber pole, then you can bring the thrust levers back to the climb gate, re-engage auto thrust, and also your autopilot will then work as well. I'm going to guess, as you're doing that in the climb, Jeffrey, you are trying to use VS for the climb. So, I mean, watch what happens. Okay, so watch. I'm in open climb at the moment. Let's say I want VS for the climb. So I'm going to wind this up now. You'd never do this, by the way. I'm going to wind my VS up now, and I'm going to set 4,000 feet. Alright, so what is the aircraft going to do? to try and meet that. The aircraft is going to pitch nose up because it needs to climb at 4,000 feet. What happens to your speed when you start to pitch nose up? Well, there you go. Look what's happening. Your speed is starting to drop. And it's going to drop further and further and further to the point where the aircraft says, no, your speed is dropping far, far too much. Look, it's coming back and back and back. And this is why you do not use VS to climb. Only in very rare circumstances would you use VS to climb. Because the aircraft will target this and it won't look after your speed. And look, here we go. As soon as it starts to get into this yellow warning area here, that is when Toga lock is going to happen. Should we let it happen? Let's let it happen. We'll get out of it. Okay, so next 10 seconds or so. Here it comes. Actually, I think we're going to reach our cruise before it happens, unfortunately. But do you see what's happened to the speed? And it's telling you, oh, we can't maintain that. I can't maintain that. So, pop it back into open climb. So we've got thrust climb, open climb. The nose is going to lower. We're pretty much going to level off because now it's going to use our target speed, which at the moment is 278. Look at the crabbing that we're doing at the minute. 91 knot crosswind, you can just tell as well as we're doing that. Simaviator, hello. Brian, low cost index should not be a factor at all. So the cost index doesn't make a difference. Just checking the temperature as well now, it's minus 42. We're out of the icing range now, so we can get rid of those. Just starting to come through the clouds though, look. Sean, good evening to you. Brian, could it be engaging the autopilot too early? Not really. You can engage the autopilot. Well, you guys tell me. When? How soon can you engage the autopilot after takeoff? See if anyone knows. So lots of you are saying about 400 feet. So it's actually 100 feet. But it's also 5 seconds. 5 seconds after takeoff and 100 feet. So you can get it on pretty quickly. Okay, so see how we'd not climbed very far whilst the speed recovered. That's because we were flying basically level, so the speed could recover. Now we have got and met that target speed. Now we start the climb. Dark Fury says 100 feet prior to landing. To be fair, Dark, that's not quite true. Even if you're doing a Cat 1 landing, I think I'd need to stick my head into the docks, but I believe it's 120 feet. If you're doing a Cat 1 landing, you can leave it 120 feet RA. That is the minimum you can get down to if you're doing a manual landing, if it's not prepped for an auto land. Dark Fury with the Friday afternoon quiz question. To successfully engage the autopilot, a couple of conditions have to be met first. What are these? Flight directors and no weight on the landing gear. Actually, no, screw the flight directors bit. I was thinking about something else. You don't need flight directors on for autopilot. Speed on cruise. Okay, and we can set that to below.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached cruising altitude, and we will begin our snack and drink service shortly. We have some delicious options available, including our tasty chicken sandwich and refreshing fruit salad. After the service, we will also have articles from the Easyjet shop available for you to browse. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Okay, get our cost index back to 4, and let's cycle through our SD pages. Seatbelt signs off. Dark, I did originally, then I said no, forget that. No, they don't. I was thinking about something else. Alright, so well, that's fine, and the other head's good as well. Lovely. Okay, so it's a short flight. We don't really have too much time to hang around. Let's do a check on the weather for various places. So we'll do it properly. We'll go to our box. Jamie, what's the reason you put the cost index to 0 then back to 4 again? That is a company operating procedure. Not all airlines do that. So don't worry too much about it. Dave, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Let's do our weather request then. Echo Golf Alpha Alpha. Let's see what's happening in Belfast. Let's also just check out the alternate, which is Manchester. Echo Golf, Papa Fox, Glasgow. And this would really annoy Ryanair if we landed there. Oh yeah, Jamie, low cost, they'll do anything to save money. Ooh. 6851, thank you for just letting me know. Top bar's not working. Not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can get that working again, shall we? It was working earlier. There, fingers crossed that's now working for everyone. Right, well, I'm waiting for those messages to come through. If you haven't done so yet, please do hit that like, guys. Do appreciate the support that the like button gives. Helps the channel out, it really does, so a huge thank you to that. Remember, of course, if you're going shopping this weekend for new flight sim stuff, purchasing from the Contrail store, there's our special discount code down below, saves you 10%. Also the referral link in the video description, and the same for Anybills if you're buying any of their stuff too. Okay, so we're going to do a little direct. We are going to go direct to Belfast now. ATC around, so see no reason why not. It's not going to be in anybody's way. So Bellox, use the beam points, and insert, which save us a couple of minutes, I reckon. Slightly more direct routing. I use TAA, Jamie. I can't stand the others. It's always a bit too blurry for me. Jeffrey, no, the top bar is a part of Fly Live Studio. See if we can get some weather data. So what we got currently, oh, that's really nice, Belfast. Look at that, 170 straight down the nose, 21 knots. Light showers of rain. We've got some towering cumulus around. Recent drizzle, so obviously wet. Manchester is also wet, but like much lighter winds. Glasgow is also lightly wet with the recent rain, but the winds are okay. And Dublin is fine. And Clever Trevor, celebrating a full year of membership. That is awesome, mate. It's a fantastic year. Looking forward to a stable 2024. Aren't we all, Clever? But thank you for supporting, my friend. Really appreciate that. Okay, so let's have a look at how we're going to get into Belfast then. Remember I said that it doesn't have any arrivals. 6581, 17H, etc. on the lower screen. What does that indicate? I'm going to try not to sound condescending when I say this. It's the time, mate. 44 minutes past 5. That's one of those kick yourself moments, isn't it? Yeah, let's bring up the charts for our arrival then, and have a look. So we are arriving on 217 and coming in Nelbo Papa 6 Belzoo. So Nelbo, and Besley. Where have we got Besley one here? Oh, Besley is I know where Besley will be. So we're coming in via Nelbo, which is here, and then the approach is going to be the ILS 17. Bring this up on here as well so we can just see what we're going to be doing. Just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so Belzoo is a waypoint which is basically over the airport. That waypoint is essentially replacing the Belfast VOR, which is usually going out of service. And you can see the approach. So we will fly Belzoo and then fly the little sort of pattern around here to come back in and land. And as we can see, if we zoom in a little bit, that's exactly what we've got. So we'll fly over Belzoo, and then from there straight out. It's basically 7 miles out, 2,500 feet, or above 2,500 feet, as we fly the pattern around it. There it is, and then we're on to the approach. So it is pretty straightforward getting into Belfast. In real life, you don't tend to do this. You get vectored by air traffic control. So we can just do it. We'll fly the full procedure, which is fine. So let's talk about how we're going to fly that full procedure. First of all, we'll go through the box, make sure that is all setting up. No legs. I'm invading both you and X-Plane. So just confirm that we've got all that set up, Belzoo and the Belfast VOR, so we'll just get rid of that. And zoom in again. There we are. Okay, yeah, so that matches what we've got on the chart. Radnav Echo Golf Alpha Alpha runway 17. One page. There we go. Pop that in there, look. Radnav page 1 Belfast. Fill out the performance page a little bit. Landing weight is looking to be 59.9, which is fine. We've already said that's going to work, and that is with a medium auto brakes and full reverse. We know that's what we're going to be using anyway. And second flight plan, just copy that active flight plan. Alright, so the box is all set up for the approach that we're going to do, with the exception of, let's get our approach page filled in, grab the weather from here. So QNH is 90903 hectopascals, temperature 9, winds 17021, that's perfect. And we're going to be a flat full landing 133, and the minimums as per the chart for Cat 1 conditions 410. Alright, so box is fully set up. Let's discuss how we're going to fly the arrival and things to be aware of. So we'll go through the arrival chart. Here it is when it loads. There we go. Alright, so we're going to be flying Nebula and then direct to Belgium, the Belfast VOR. On the descent then, we've obviously got MSAs of 3.5, so we don't want to be getting in lower than 3,500 feet as we're coming down towards the Belfast VOR and Aldergrove. Once we get there then, this will be the plan. So in order to fly this full procedural approach, I want to be green dot, and then as we're on the descent there, we will we'll set flaps 1 as we fly outbound. Then as we're on the turn, get down 2,500 feet, flaps 2, intercepting the glide slope, and this is going to be a 7-mile final at 2,500 feet. So I want flaps 2 as we're coming around here. Really, we need to have flaps 2 out before 2,000 feet. That's just the basic law. So that's how I plan to manage sort of the speed and the configuring of the aircraft. Let's just talk about the actual approach. It's normal 3-degree glide slope, so that's fine. 3-degree PAPIs as well. We've got no displaced threshold, 45 meters wide runway, so that's nice. Transition altitude 6,000 feet, and the missed approach 1,200 feet, it's a right turn heading 225, then 3,000 feet right turn back to the Belfast VOR, and maintain 3,000 feet. So missed approach altitude is 3,000 feet, and basically we need to make a right turn to 255 degrees at 1,200 feet. Should we be going west, which is basically this here, look. So yeah, 1,200 feet, right turn, and then 3,000 feet back to Belfast, and hold. Okay, any other information that we need to look at on the chart? We've got max speed there of 210 knots. We don't need to worry about that. We will absolutely not be at 210 knots by that point, because we'll have flaps 2 out. So as holding point, we've got localizer India Fox Tango, make sure that's identified. DME required for localizer only. Use Belfast only when DME is serviceable. It is serviceable today, so that's fine. So yeah, all of that is. All of that looks pretty straightforward. Let's now just have a look at the charts after landing.
Captain, we have a situation in the cabin. A passenger is experiencing severe pain and has informed me that they are passing a kidney stone. They mentioned they had been feeling unwell before the flight, but didn't think it would escalate. I provided them with some water and am monitoring the situation closely. I may need your guidance on how to proceed.
Oh God. Can you find out if there's a doctor on board, please?
Okay, Captain. I'll check with the passengers to see if there's a doctor on board.
How long before we land? 6:30. And where's the nearest airport? So we've got Liverpool literally just down there. Passing a kidney stone. I can't think of anything worse, to be honest. If you're going to pass a kidney stone, don't get on my plane. Right, well, we'll continue unless she comes back and tells me that there's a big problem. Kidney stone. Honestly. That's a new one. No, Lex says, well, we are passing through Liverpool. What am I doing? I was trying to find the ground charts for Belfast before I was rudely interrupted.
And traffic with 66 Echo Bravo on the button 1 Victor, last call, approaching button 4 miles at 4,000 feet. Liverpool traffic.
Right, Dark says I could always land at Blackpool. Alright, so, just having a look once we've landed. Yeah, so the painful thing about this is we need, for anyone that's flying with us, pay attention, we need good separation here. I think we could turn around on the runway. We can't use the taxiways at the end. We can take Foxtrot, but yeah, we can turn around on the runway if required. There is a turning circle there we can use. Just have a look, see if there's any other pieces of information on there. Okay. Okay, direct Ramsey. Keep an eye on the fuel, 5.1 ton. Dark, if you're 20 miles behind us, that's absolutely fine. DT, the LIDO charts are part of Flight Sim 24. Yep, they're included. No more flights tonight, Santa Key. This is it for today. Jeffrey Harvey says, true story, I passed mine in a public toilet. The urinals were metal. It sounded like a machine gun going off. Oh! Ouch. Oh, that sounds awful. We'll talk about the threats then for the... I'll tell you what, I might just hand that over to you guys. So, you've heard the brief, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how I'm going to configure, etc. You tell me then, any threats with, any threats today for the approach and landing? Nolex, do I think Navigraph will be effective if Boeing end up selling Jefferson? Oh, I have no idea. What kind of threats are these? France says alien attack. Clever says strange accents. I like the Irish accent. Always have. Dark, someone getting stuck on the toilet. I mean, technically, yeah, they might be in the toilet when I'm trying to land, and I can't land if someone's in the toilet. Guinness on the runway, wind shear. Finally, a potential real threat. I mean, there's no wind shear report at the moment, Clever, so I'm not too concerned about that. The wind's pretty consistent at the minute. DT says darkness, can't see obstacles very well. To be fair, any obstacle that should be in our way would be illuminated. Certainly should be illuminated. Flew back, crashed the desktops, definitely. Nolex says the pilot, absolutely. Yeah, Martin, we've got a very unfortunate headwind today, 113 knots. So the threats that I'm sort of thinking about, obviously we've got the headwind, don't overflare it. We'll probably not need much of a flare for this aircraft today, given the fact that we've got such a strong headwind. There's not really too much terrain around Belfast. I think, let's just have a quick look. Yeah, with the highest part is just to the southeast, just down here in this corner. So that's all right. But yeah, the strong wind. That's the biggest threat. So how do we mitigate the strong winds? What are we thinking about? Well, first of all, should we need to decrab the aircraft at all when we're flying? I'm not expecting to have to use any rudder because, well, very little, because it's a bang-on headwind. So it should be ailerons only to get ourselves lined up with the runway centre line. Dark says visibility dropping out below minimums. I mean, it could happen. There's a rain shower. We lose visual contact with the runway lights. So we need to see the approach lighting system. I think we should be okay though. I think it's still in light rain at the moment. Hey Caroline, how's the passenger that wasn't feeling well? Are they doing okay? Just check on them. Sound like I'm a little bit concerned.
The passenger is still in pain, Captain. I've checked with them and they are managing, but it's quite uncomfortable. I'm still looking for a doctor on board to assist.
If you haven't found one by now, I don't think you're going to. It's not like we've got an open door policy on the aircraft. Okay, well, we should be on the ground in about 30 minutes, and I'll request for ambulances to meet us at the gate.
Understood, Captain. I'll prepare the cabin for arrival and ensure the crew is ready to assist the passenger once we land.
Dark Crew says it's also island, so any wind could just knock out the power. I mean, that is, again, very true. They do tend to have backup generators on site though, places like airports, because they're obviously quite important. So we've got our top of descent coming in about 30 miles or so. Haven't done a fuel check on this flight. We'll just quickly do one. I know we've got plenty of fuel, but so we're coming up to Ramsey. We took 7 tons of fuel, which is 1.8 tons more than we needed. So let's just find Ramsey in here. So we should have 297 with 3948, and that's what we've got, 48. So yeah, fuel's fine. Zethly, what program provides the landing rate pop-up? It's not very accurate, but it is FlyLive Studios, the streaming overlay that you can see. Martin says at the moment it's also quite windy and rainy in the Netherlands all day and night. I think it's going to be that way for the next 24 hours or so. So if people have got a chance to fly tomorrow, then flying between North Europe and the UK could be quite fun. Brian Simulations, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So what are the plans going, guys, for your weekend coming up? Anything particular that you are doing that you're looking forward to? It's going to be very dark down there when we get there. But yeah, look at that. The moon, they've made the moon really, really small now in the sim. I think it should be bigger. I don't know. What do you think? That's the moon in Flight Sim 2024. Obviously in 2020 it looked huge, didn't it? Probably a little bit too big. Martin, I can't in March. I did think about it, but unfortunately I am very, very busy in March, so I'm not going to be able to make that. The Grey Cat says he's going to be repairing the wind damage. Jeff, you're going to be reflying the A380 again? I've not tried it in 2024. Fruitbat says, well, the moon's quite far away. I know it is. Santa Gigi says the bigger question is the star sky different on the south hemisphere? I would imagine so. I've not checked it, but all the constellations were correct in 2020 and they appear to be in 2024. Right, thrust idle, over descent 100 blue. Down we go. Television says I really like the size of the moon in the new sim in 24. It more closely resembles the real life size and it makes the night sky less cluttered, as it should be. I mean, that is true. I just love the fact that the stars are now more pinpricks rather than big glowing orbs like they were in 2024. In 2020, sorry. See, that's what we need to get rid of, though. We need to get rid of the reflections of the lights, because that's not actually there. So we can see the plough, the small saucepan. Sean's just given us an updated meta, so let's check that out. It's not too different to what we were expecting. QNH is 991 hectopascals, winds 170 at 20, but the gusts have returned. Broken 1200 feet and recent rain. And stand 12. So once we have landed, guys, I'm gonna have to be a little bit naughty. We may have to just abandon the aircraft on the runway. Reason being, I need to go and pick up my kids. Very, very unfortunate that they get in the way of these things. So we'll probably land, maybe do a quick arrival replay, and then yeah, sadly going to have to shoot off. But hopefully we'll get in first time. Flight Sim said yesterday it did the Geneva to the LBA flight, and yesterday the sim completely froze. So you've uninstalled and reinstalled 2020, you just climbed now out of Innsbruck. Fingers crossed for you then. Jake says put it in the hold and come and land when I get home. Vince says what about the person who's passing a kidney? We checked on them, they're alright. We're going to get medical assistance to meet us at the gate. DT says 991 on the QNH, that is a low pressure system. I've seen it lower, but yeah, you know when you're in triple digits that it's low. Let's keep that speed up. Think about that poor person that needs help. Okay, so contrary to what we were saying earlier about using VS, you can use VS to descend. That's fine. Using VS to descend. Gray says the fact I've got to pick up the kids just is a greater incentive for a perfect approach. We all know you like to see go-arounds. Things not going to plan. Sean says, what's the lowest QNH anyone has seen when flying on the sim? His lowest was 976. I think I remember it being something similar to that. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for landing, please.
Okay, Captain. Preparing the cabin for landing now.
Get the seatbelt signs on as well as we start to head down into this layer of cloud that we can see. And anti-ice also will be required. Going to be flying more or less right over the top of Belfast City Airport. You can see just at the top of the navigation display there. So what we can do as well at this point, we're already on managed, selected speed, sorry, so we'll activate that approach phase. So that's one less thing to worry about having to do. Nice little low profile anyway as it is. You can just keep an eye on this as well, about 3,000 feet below, that's fine. Martin, I may enjoy the mini EFIS alongside the mini FCU. Got yours very early. Martin, so I don't use the mini EFIS and the mini FCU, not because I don't like them. They're amazing. They're simple. They work. It's great. But I have the WingFlex full setup combo, which is just beautiful. If you want full size. Remember, if you are ordering the mini FCU EFIS, I do have a discount code, which is basically Easyjet said, well, it'll save you, I think it's 10 or 20%, so it's definitely worth doing. Alright, let's see what signs on. Flight Sim, do you know how to download owned 2020 airports from Orbex? Can't you designate which folder to download them into Flight Sim and then just move them into the community folder? That's what I'd try to do. Belfast traffic easy, 121 Whiskies, 30 miles to the east of Belfast, and we will be flying overhead the Belfast VOR for the full procedural ILS approach to runway 17. So, we are going to, what was that, QNH again? 9991. Okay, so, local pressure is set, and 3,500 feet, 3,500 blue. Cabin crew, 15 minutes to landing. 15 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now 15 minutes away from landing at Belfast International Airport. Please ensure your seatbelts are fastened and your seats are in the upright position. We appreciate your cooperation and hope you enjoy the flight.
They might have enjoyed the flight, whether they enjoyed the landing is another matter. Right, coming up on 10,000 feet, so as we're in selected speed, Speed 250. Get our landing lights on as well. India Fox Tango is identified. Into the soup. Stand change. Not bothered about that at the moment. Started open descent. Just need to bleed off some airspeed. Hey, Football My Gamer says, looking forward to flight simming tomorrow, flying in the wind. You could do some really, what on usually quite long flights, you know, 2-3 hour flights, and get quite a bit of time cut off them with the winds tomorrow. Flight Sim says no, the software only sees, oh, it only sees Flight Sim 24, so only allows the compatible airports. Oh, that's really frustrating. I might have to download all of mine while I've still got 2020 still installed, and then just copy them across. But I didn't realise it did that. A little bit of wing bounce that you can see there, wing flex. Massive green hue as we're flying through those clouds. Right, manage speed. And again, just check. Belfast is, oh actually we need to be 4,000 feet in Belfast, that's fine. It looks like we've just dropped out the clouds as well, so that's quite nice. That's above 4,000 feet, but I have to be at 4,000 feet, so there's the airport. Very nicely lit up. That's the runway we normally land on. We're going to go fly over here. Belfast traffic easy 121 whiskey, now approaching overhead the airfield for the full procedural ILS approach runway 17. So we're going to start slowing the aircraft down so we can get down to flaps 1 and speeds checked, flaps 1.
All traffic. 195, we've cleared runway 17. We're reporting gusts of 35, but on the nose for American.
Gusts of 35, we'll take that into consideration. at the airfield. Let's
Traffic
do it.
Lufthansa 124 established on the local order 1711 miles.
So we've got a flight that is 11 miles out, so he's here. I think that's him on TCAS there, look. So my right turn coming up. Funnily enough, I think if you go on Flight Radar 24, there was an Easyjet flight that did this not that long ago. Basically flew overhead the airfield and then sort of got vectored from there. So there's that aircraft beneath us. Got a good 1,000 feet separation at the moment. He's obviously heading down, so that's fine. Unfortunately, we can't see him though, because the lights at the moment don't work for other players' aircraft, which is frustrating, but there we go. Just keep an eye on that wind, look at that. 47 knots, tailwind at the minute, of course. A nice headwind when we come in and spin her around. Okay, so I should have done this already, but the approach checklist. Bar QNH is 991 hectopascals. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are 410.
Traffic.
That's our traffic. Push to level off. We know he's going down. Descending would be a very bad idea. So we are sort of ignoring the traffic RA at the moment. Not quite sure why we'd be given the clear of conflict, so let's just continue our descent then. First side low descent.
$2,500.
The altimeters are alive. Interrupted the checklist, so we have to restart it. So our QNH is 991 hectopascals, seatbelt signs are on, minimums 410, auto brake medium, engine mode selector is null, and EFP is stowed. 2,500 feet.
FSTraffic Lufthansa 124, short final 4 miles 17.
So we just need to be aware as well that he will have to backtrack. So. So quick check of the fuel, just under 4.5 tons, so we've got lots of it.
Traffic Easy598 is overhead the airport, making a right-hand turn for the procedural and for the ILS 17.
Here comes the teardrop. This will on the approach. So glide slope walk blue, Cat 3 dual autopilot 1 and 2. You can hear the rain. I don't know if I can see any rain. No. Might not work in the Fenix yet as they update it to 2024. Belfast traffic easy 121 whiskey, establishing ILS 17 at a 12-mile final. Speed currently 180 knots. Obviously just need to be aware of that separation required for the backtrack on the runway. Although technically I'm not going to do that, I'm going to land and then disconnect, so that's not going to affect anybody else. For a moment there I got disorientated. I thought when I saw these lights come into view, I thought we were descending and getting far too low to the ground. We're not. We're 2,500 feet. That's where we should be. It's exactly where we should be, and we're not descending. So even in the sim, sometimes you can sort of get a little bit disorientated. So imagine what it is like if you're actually, you know, really there. That's lock star. Real life air traffic control would never allow this many aircraft to be on approach at the same time. For obvious reasons.
FSTraffic, Lufthansa 124, runway 17 vacated by a Foxtrot.
Steve Cole, can you see the other aircraft lights yet? No. Which is a real pain. Alright, runway's in sight. So that wind should drop as we get a little bit closer. But you can see, obviously, the distance, the difference between the heading and the track. Flaps 2, speed's checked. Flaps 2. Glide slope start. Missed approach altitude is 3,000 feet.
Cargo traffic BC598 is published on the localizer 17 and 12 mile.
Belfast traffic, easy 121 whiskey, 6 mile final at runway 17, reducing to final approach speed. Okay, gear down. Manage the speed, spoilers armed. Flaps 3, speed's checked. Flaps 3. Cabin crew, seats for landing. Flaps full. And the landing checklist.
Cabin crew, take seats for landing.
So cabin secure. Go around altitude 3,000 feet. E-cabin on landing, no blue. Right, 41 knots at the moment, as we can see there. The engine's fighting with that wind. Okay, so by the time we actually land, shouldn't need too much rudder to realign because most of it is a headwind. But let's have a go. Autopilot off, my aircraft. So you can just see it now actually, just start to spin round that wind. feet. As that wind dropped, we need to now compensate and actually fly left to get back on that centre line. So that's dropped. It's almost halved. Just 3 reds just to compensate for that. Stable.
Above. 100. Minimum.
Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 7, 5.
Okay, spoilers, rest green, decel. This is off, manual brakes. Awesome. Okay, so just come off of still need to set those markings off. Just come off of V-Pilot. Darragh, please apologise to the controller for me. I did say I was going to have to come off because I am going to have to disappear. That was all right. That was pretty boring, actually, which is exactly what you want in conditions like this. So there we are. Our second approach in this storm, Darragh, which seems to have gone all right. So my apologies that I do have to shoot off. Can't keep the kids waiting. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hope you have enjoyed it. Remember, if you are on your way out, please don't forget to leave that like. It is really, really important. Thank you so much for those of you watching over on Twitch as well. Really seeing those numbers starting to come up, so that is amazing. Thank you so much, guys. And our Easyjet Sync Pilot channel members, as always, a massive thanks, of course, to you and your continued unwavering support. Really do appreciate that. Hope you've all got something really good planned for the weekend. I'm going to leave you with a replay of our landing. Dear God, I hope I did disconnect off V-Pilot before I did that. I will just leave you with a view out of the window. This, of course, then is what the passengers saw. Thank you so much. As I said, sorry I've got to shoot off, but look forward to seeing you all next time. Whatever you're doing, make sure you have a fantastic weekend. Thanks very much, guys. See you all very soon. Good night.